Good morning, everyone. We'll get started in just a few minutes. As usual, quick request if you could let me know in comments in the chat if you can see and hear me okay. Good morning, Teresa. Good morning, Karen. We already have some people here. Is everyone ready to paint this morning? Hopefully you have some paper, some watercolors set out. I'm going to go over my setup in just a second. Good morning, Arlene. She's in Maine. I bet you guys have beautiful weather there right now. We're just still very hot here in Houston. I'm ready for the summer to be over. It's 90 degrees every single day. Arlene and Teresa both in Maine. Okay. Is the sound okay, guys? Can you let me know in chat? Yes, everybody loves cats. And we all love watercolors, so this is cool. I'm starting a little bit early so people can join and, get all settled and get all the materials ready. And sound is fun. Thank you, Karen. Yeah, Ohio is, I bet, is nice too. Teresa posted cat in a box. That's funny. Let me tell you about my setup, guys. I have a big sheet of watercolor paper ready to go. I didn't draw anything. It's pristine white. This is Canson paper. This is not cotton. This is that wood chip paper, that inexpensive line that they have, with the blue cover. I just have a big sheet. This is 18 by 24 inches. I just wanted to paint a little bit larger today so you can see what I'm doing here. You don't need such a big piece if you don't have it. You can just work on smaller sheets and do each shape on a separate sheet. Even just really small ones will work fine. Colors don't matter. Today will be nice and easy, very relaxed, meditative exercises. I had a busy week, so I thought today I need to do something just to relax and enjoy watercolor painting. No color theory, no layers, no nothing. So any color will work. I have a few set out here. I just did them separately. I don't have a lot of room on my desk. Any color you want to use, your regular palette, it's all fine. You can also use liquid watercolors, maybe color inks if you have, or black ink if you have some. So this will be a chance for you to kind of maybe work with a different material that you usually use and try a color that you bought but never had a chance to use, because colors today won't matter. It will be all about shapes and lines. And I'll show you also my brushes first, probably. I think working with round brushes will be the thing to do, even though you might want to try different shape brushes as well and see what works for us. We will do several cats, so there will be a chance to try different shapes of brushes as well. I'm going to be using these. These are Chinese brushes, goat hair. If you don't have them, that's okay. I like them because they hold a lot of paint and water and they have pointy edges. Once I wet them, you will see what they look like. I think round brushes will work just fine as long as they have a nice point. And I'm thinking maybe even if you have like a flat angled brush, try that as well and see if that works. I think it might work as well. When I paint these exercises, I have my mind in kind of calligraphy mode, so I like to use my Asian art brushes. And I also have a whole bunch. You really don't need that many. I will be using some Sharpies for line work. And I was surprised in the art supply store when I saw them that they come in all different colors. You always think Sharpie is black, right? That's what we use in the kitchen and for packages and stuff. But they actually have different colors and different tips. So I have a really fine one, a fine point. And I also have a little bit thicker one because I will be painting larger. I was thinking maybe I will need some thicker lines as well. So see what size paper you decide to use, and depending on that, decide what size brush and shape of the brush will work best, and also size of the marker. You can use those brush tip pens, basically like acrylic markers, basically any marker that you have, just to create lines. Maybe fountain pen. I was looking for mine. I don't know what I did with it, but I think fountain pen will be fun to use today as well. So these are my markers. I have them on this side here. And we will definitely need some white, I think, for highlights. Yeah, I think we will use some white. So I bought this Uni Posca. It's a fine tip white. This is, I believe, is acrylic paint. But I mean, any marker, I think I have a white Sharpie as well that I sometimes use. Any white marker will work, or if you don't have a white marker, white ink is perfect, or white gouache and a small brush. So these are the materials for today. No special requirements or special colors or anything like that. All right, we have Austin. Hi, neighbors. Arlene says just chase the cat away. Yes, cats have to participate in everything. Hi, Beth. How you doing? Fellow Texans are joining me. I haven't been painting all week, I'll tell you guys, so I feel a little stiff, but you know, today is all about peaceful meditative exercises, so no pressure. Let's just roll our shoulders, relax, and no right or wrong here. We will just enjoy watercolor and enjoy some nice exercises. This exercise is actually really good, like if you haven't painted for a while, like me, and you're hesitant to start, you feel like you might ruin your paper, just grab any sheet of paper and do this exercise as a warm-up. And it doesn't have to be cats, obviously. You can do anything. Just find some photos and try to find shapes in them. I'll explain how and what it does. And you will feel a lot more relaxed and a lot more confident, because you know you will establish that hand-eye coordination, get your creative juices going, and it will be much easier for you to paint if you don't do it. You know, like you don't want to start running when your muscles are not warmed up. So with painting, it's the same thing. You want to warm up a little bit, and this exercise is a really good way to do it. Hi everyone, we have more and more people joining. We'll give everybody just one more minute to join, and I'll start explaining what we will be doing today. Does everyone have reference photo handy? I have mine printed out. I'll keep it on the screen so you can see it, guys, but if you want to do something different, you can open it on another device or something like that. I posted it in Watercolor Beginners and Beyond group. You probably saw my post, and I also posted it. If you click on my channel, there are tabs on top, and there is a community tab, and the top community post is this reference photo. You can just even open it on some other device, on your iPad or something, and use this as reference when we paint. I didn't, like I said, I didn't draw anything. I have a blank sheet of paper, and this today will be all about just freehand exercises. Alrighty, we have more and more people joining us. All right, it's 10 o'clock. We're gonna get started. Good morning, everyone, once again, or good day, good evening, wherever you are. I don't think we have anybody international today. Welcome to Timer Up Studio. Today's event is line and shape cats. Very excited. Why we want to do this exercise? I told you about it a little bit. We will be painting some cats freehand. It's important because all artwork that we create consists of shapes and it consists of lines. You probably hear, experienced artists tell beginners, and it's a good reminder for everyone not to paint objects when we paint, but to paint shapes. If we concentrate on object painting, we need to learn how to paint flowers, we need to learn how to paint fruit, how to paint trees, how to paint people, and the list goes on, and there is no end to it. So it's just insurmountable task to learn to paint every single object in our life. If we think about shapes and lines instead of objects, our task becomes a lot easier because any object that we see around us can be broken down into shapes. So artists say paint shapes and paint light and shadow, and those light and shadow are shapes, right? So that way we can paint whatever we want and kind of grasp the essence of things. So that's why seeing shapes is so important to improve our art and to feel free to create whatever we want. So that's why this exercise is important, and like anything else, seeing shapes instead of objects and not getting distracted by details or intimidated comes with practice, right? So this exercise will help us to do just that. So even though it seems like easy and relaxing, it's actually very useful. You don't think I will be wasting your time on something useless. I want to provide a lot of value for you with these events. So 3 things that we will improve by doing this exercise. And like I said, it doesn't have to be cats, it can be anything you want. First of all, we will learn how to simplify form, right? How to get away from the details, from painting eyes and noses and paws, but seeing those shapes, seeing overall form and putting it on paper. Second thing that we will improve with this exercise is our sight measuring skills. I don't have a pencil drawing. I am not transferring the drawing on paper. I will be painting freehand, and I will be using my ability to see the form and compare different shapes, their relationship to each other, and to just kind of eyeball it, right? And at first it might not look right and things will be out of place, but the more you do it, the better your eye will become, and the better you'll be able to evaluate those distances and angles, and your sight measuring skills will improve with these exercises. And the third thing that we will be improving today and in the future with these exercises will be our brush and water control, right? We're painting with watercolor or with water media, I should say. It can be some other materials as well. So we will train precision in dealing with the brush, and we will figure out how much water and how much paint we need to use without the pressure of finishing the artwork and creating something amazing and finished, but by just doing simple exercises where the result doesn't really matter. We can throw away that piece of paper and try again, forget about it. So brush and water control, this will be the third benefit of this exercise. Alrighty, without further delay, all right, we have somebody from Israel joining us. Cool. All right, I'm going to start. So So I'm thinking I will do similar composition to this, and like I said, you can just paint each cat on a separate sheet of paper. You don't have to have a giant sheet of paper like mine, but I'll try to kind of position them here approximately like I have them on the reference photo. Let's see, yeah, you can see the reference, and I have my big brush. Always paint with the biggest brush you can get away with, right? In this exercise, I'll show you, I don't want you to paint like the outline and fill it in. We need to go from shape. So we need a big brush to create that shape right away. See how mine became very pointy? So something like that. If you have in your toolbox, just select the biggest brush you have, depending on the size of your paper. And what else was I going to tell you? I'm going to start with yellow. Color doesn't matter. Get it started. And of course I drip right away talking about color and water control. So I'm going to start painting. Let me see if it doesn't show very well. Let's start with red, guys, so you can actually see what I'm doing. You can even mix it together. I'll mix some orange. Yeah, this will be good. All right, so I'm just starting to create shapes, moving my brush and looking at the reference and trying to do something approximately in that vein. So as you see, and if I made a huge puddle like that, it's very easy to just pick it up with a paper towel. And you can tell I'm kind of hesitating and feel a little stiff because I haven't painted, but hopefully as I go along, I will get more fluent with it and it will be easier. So I'm looking at this paw. I need to bring it closer. I need to wipe this. Then going around the back side, there is the tail. And there is the back, it joins the face, and there is the ear. So I'm just dragging my brush around. It also helps, guys, if you squint when looking at the reference photo, so you will stop seeing his stripes and, you know, the details, and just paint the shape. There's a little paw sticking out here. All right, this is my first shape. This was quick and easy, right? We're going to leave it for now. We will do some other stuff with it. I also like to do, if I squint, I see some darker areas, and it's not strictly necessary, but it's kind of fun to do this as well. Just drop a little more paint in a few areas to just give it even more, you know, play with it a little more. Something like that. All right, this is our first shape. Any questions, guys? I didn't ask you. Are you all doing? Hopefully a lot of people are painting because, you know, I feel it's a easy and fun exercise to do on Saturday morning. All right, no questions? All right, let's move to the next one. Let's use maybe blue. Get it started, get it going, the color. All right, and just start. I like to start with the head, but actually it doesn't really matter where you start. I'm just checking that my colors are not too light. I need them fairly light because I will be doing some line work on top, but I want you guys to be able to see, obviously. And if you don't like watching and painting, maybe it's too distracting, you can come back to my channel and watch this again and, you know, paint at that time. So just trying to drag my brush along my paper and not paint the contour and fill it in, but to paint the shape as a whole as much as possible. So here's my second cat. We can also use this red to drop in. Let's squint when looking at the reference photo and paint a shadow or some slightly darker areas. Okay, something like this with the second one. How you guys doing? I hope you having fun. I am. I like these kind of relaxing exercises. Okay, this is our second cat. This is going to go pretty fast, I think. I don't want to keep you here all Saturday. I'm sure you have stuff to do. Let's do this guy who is stretching. I'll try to keep him closer because I want to paint this big guy in the center too. Let's start from the tail and see what happens. So squinting and trying to find the shape. So trying not to paint the head, but trying to paint the whole cat, the whole shape. And going this way, I can feel, you know, I'm getting a little bit more relaxed and confident with my painting. And I didn't mention, guys, yeah, paper is dry, right? We don't want anything to run over. We're just painting on dry paper. Okay, there will be some darker shapes here. Adding a little bit of color for interest. Okay, let's move to the other side. Let's see, how can I put this reference so you guys can still see it. Needs to be lower. Maybe I'll switch my colors to the other side. All right, let's paint this guy on top. I'm going to go back to blue, I think. Do it in the corner here. This one is a little tricky because, you know, it's a lot going on here, but still squinting, not looking at the details. And trying to see that shape, that building block of our artwork. I think this needs to maybe come out a little more. right? All right, this is this guy. And let's do the one that's laying down. What color should I use? Maybe let's go with yellow again, or with orange, my modified yellow. Okay, so squint. I'll start with the back, the long shape. And then this is the head shape. You see, guys, I'm starting to paint faster because I'm getting more relaxed and more confident, and hopefully you're feeling it as well. Okay. And the last little guy right here. So trying to work from the shape and not from each element, not from features, not from paws. All right. You see how faster and faster I'm starting to paint? So yeah, it's a great exercise, great warm-up, or just great in general practicing exercise. So whenever you have time, you can even spend just 10 minutes doing it and you will feel the benefit definitely. All right, and I want to paint the guy in the middle, and I'm going to paint him larger so I can make him more detailed. I'm going to start with yellow. Let's see, is he going to fit? I think he will fit here. Cats have fairly large ears. You don't think about it, but, or I shouldn't say ears, the triangular shapes that we see on top need to be fairly large. My brush is shading. These are kind of older brushes, so they've seen a lot of wear and tear. If you watch some videos on my channel, I don't use them that much lately, but I used to use them quite a bit. So let me talk you through this a little more. I'm looking at the reference photo and I'm trying to repeat the distances and angles that I see there. I'm squinting so I don't see the details, but I'm looking for distances and angles. That's the key word here. And if I don't capture them, no big deal. You know, I'll show you next step that we're going to do and it will be all fine. Let's drop some blue in, you know, just for fun, see what happens. There's darker shape here, there's darker shape in the middle. So I'm going to paint this. I see a darker shape on the bottom here. I'm just playing with my colors, not worried about precision or anything like that. And there's a dark shape right here. That brush really sheds. Sorry guys, I'll have to pick this up. This actually gives me a chance to show you. If your brush sheds and you have a hair on your watercolor, don't touch it with your fingers because, you know, you will pick up paint and there will be a mark on your painting. What I do, I have something, this is a palette knife or some other tool, maybe a regular knife if you have one, and just pick it up with that. And that way you will not leave a big mark there. All right. Let's move this out a little bit. I did too much. Okay. These are all my cat shapes. We will work on this a little more. I'm going to give it just a minute to dry. While we're waiting, let me move this back in the center so you guys can see the whole thing. Let's give this a minute to dry. We will continue working on this. I will give everybody a chance to catch up. Quick reminder, guys, the sale on my Painterly Pet Portraits class is still going on until the end of the month. If you just go to my website, kseniaines.com, and click on top on store, you don't need a coupon, you don't need anything. The class is discounted $100. It's only $29.95 right now. So if you feel that that's something you're interested in, pet portraits, painting animals, maybe take advantage of the sale while it's going on. You get lifetime access to the class. So the videos are on demand, but you don't have to watch them on any schedule. You can watch them whenever you have time. And I also have a community forum where you can post your paintings, and I'll take a look at them and answer your questions or give you a little bit of feedback. So if you click on the class cover, it will take you to the class page, and there is a preview video, so you can watch the preview to make sure that's what you're interested in and you want to take this class. And the class talks about painting pets, but it's applicable to anything you want to paint because it mainly concentrates on color theory. I explain how to mix neutral colors from primary and secondary colors. So you have beautiful varied neutrals, which are that's what we need for animals, right? All the browns, grays, and blacks. And there is also a module about not mixing colors. So you will be able to paint something like this. So just portraits with fantasy colors, bright palette, very cheerful, very expressive. I explain how to do this as well in that class. And I showed you at the last live session some examples from that class. I know many people are already taking it, so just for those who are joining us the first time. So these are some of the examples of the demos in the class. So this was painted with yellow, red, and blue. So there's no black pigment, but I painted that black puppy. And all these were painted without using any black or gray pigments. So if you want to learn how to do that, hopefully go to take advantage of the sale. Hopefully you'll do it before it ends. So go to kseniaines.com/store and you will see the class already discounted over there. Alrighty. I think some of my cats are dry. Yeah, these are more or less dry. Let me use my handy heat gun, guys. It shouldn't make too much noise. Get this a little better, a little drier. Oh, hi, Amy. Amy's watching us from Florida. Thank you, Beth. Yeah, when I started painting, I felt very kind of stiff and restrained, but the more you go, and you can paint sheets and sheets of these cats, make them smaller and just fill up your sketchbook, and I promise you guys, you will see an improvement in your brush handling, in your drawing skills. Somebody asked a question here, how do I start drawing? Just pick up a brush and don't start with a pencil. Pencil is hard, it's restricting. Pick up a brush in any color you want and just start doing exercises like that. Or just even, I don't know, do lettering, just freehand painting, and that will teach you hand-eye coordination and teach you handling the brush, and you can paint whatever you want. And of course, taking some classes will help to learn color theory. Learn about showing light and shadow, the three-dimensional form on flat sheet of paper, and you're good to go. All right, let me... No question, guys. I guess, right? Everybody's on the same page. Everybody's painting away, I hope. Hope to see your paintings on social media. My company name is Tamirab Studio. That's what I am on social media. It's right here. Let me show you one more time. It's Tamirab with 2 B's. And if you tag me, I'll see your painting. And, you know, we can talk about it if you want. So please don't forget to tag me if you post something. Alrighty, let's move on to line work. We still have a lot to do. We're doing actually really good on time. I'm just gonna go over my cats and try to add just a few lines to tell the viewer that it's a cat, right? So I'm not going to do a lot of details. Which details I'm going to add? I am going to add only the darkest dark. So again, I will be squinting when looking at my reference. That eliminates most of the details, but I will see those darkest accents in the photos very easily. And that's what I'm going to draw with my Sharpie. So let's start with this guy. He should be the driest. Yeah, they're fine. And that way, you know, a lot of times we tend to go kind of a little heavy-handed on the line work. We start doing a black contour that kind of chokes the drawing. It stops breathing, and we're like, oh, well, I did too much. I should have stopped sooner. And the way you go lightly and you don't overwork your painting is by squinting and only doing the most important details. You can always add more details, right? But once you did too much, it's hard to take it away. So that's I think the best approach to painting. Of course, his eye. And you see, guys, I'm kind of scribbling because line tool is kind of hard to use. It requires even more precision than the brush. Then I'm kind of finding my way and trying to figure out, you know, what line looks best. And if you have a few lines, it's a little easier. This, yeah, I didn't do a good job on this eye. It needs to be here. And that's when I'm going to use opaque white, right, to make corrections. But it's all good. We're not submitting this to a show. We're not worried about results. You know, we're just practicing. So this is a good practice. Okay, there's dark area right here. And of course, it's a good idea to give the cat something to stand on. I might even switch to a thicker marker and do a little bit more here on the bottom and give the cat, you know, something to stand on. I feel I need darker area here. Alrighty, so this one is done. Let's do white accents right away so we don't forget. So hopefully this will cover it. Again, how to see light areas? Squinting, right? A few scribbles. I see some light in the ears, and we can kind of hint at his white paws and his white chest, or hers. Some people can tell. I don't. The cat is male or female. All right, so this is this one. I'm far away from my, I'm sorry guys if I'm blocking the view, but I need to get closer here. Highlights in the eyes. And of course we need to give him whiskers. White, hard to see. We'll take artistic license and do black whiskers. Okay. So this is the first guy. Let's keep moving. Hi Nancy. Yeah, join us. Even if you join us a little later, you can watch the replay later. Just grab some paper. So we did some watercolor cat shapes and now we add in the line work. Emily, the white is Uni Posca. It's I think it's acrylic marker. I bought the smallest tip that I could find. Can you see it? Yeah, there it is. You kind of have to pump it to get the paint going, but I think it works pretty well because it's a fine tip. If you don't have it, don't worry about it. Just use white gouache or white ink, whatever white you have, even white pencil, something like that. So it will all work. Yeah, it's Uni Posca marker. All right, let's do this guy. So squinting and looking. So you see guys, those watercolor shapes were just the beginning, right? And I'll show you some artwork in the middle so you will understand where I'm, besides the benefit of this exercise, we can actually use this for artwork as well. So I'll show you a couple of examples in just a minute. And there is a paw here. I can't see what's here, so I'm just doing the darkest areas, and that information will be enough for the viewer to understand what I'm painting or trying to say here. There's a dark area here. And this guy doesn't have, there's a big shadow, but there are not that many dark accents. Maybe on the back. Yeah, we'll do some on the back. The tail is a little too high, so I'm going to correct this. Okay, so even when I'm working with the marker, I'm not a slave to my watercolor shape, right? I am still analyzing all the angles and distances, and I'm trying to kind of adjust things a little bit and make them work, because I still want to train my eye and I still want to work on my sight measuring abilities. Okay, I'm gonna switch to white. Give him a little more shape to the face. Just a few strokes, guys. Don't, you know, obsess about it. Don't worry that you did too little or something, or it's not correct. Oh, this, like I said, it's an exercise. It's not finished artwork. I'm not going to show it. You don't even have to show it to anybody, right? Okay, this is this guy. Give him whiskers. The white is kind of clogging my Sharpie a little bit. I do like to add some heavy accents on the bottom. Make his tail even darker, and he's got some dark shapes here. All right, this is this one. Let's do the next one. And with line work, you can do as much or as little as you want. This guy is chubby. Give him chubby cheeks. There's dark area here, dark area here. I really should switch to a bigger marker after I'm done with the face, because it's just hard to work with a fine point. Guys, and I also wanted to ask you, while I have you all here, I'm working on some more live demos for October, November, and December. So if there is something you want to learn to do, to paint, and you think I can help with some advice or some demos, can you let me know in comments, please? Because, you know, I want to provide content that's interesting for my viewers, and hopefully you can tell me what you're interested in, and we can have a live session and I'll paint together something that you like. Because I might be thinking one thing and you might be thinking something different, right? So I would appreciate some suggestions on future videos. Alrighty, how are we doing on time? I'm going to work on this big guy. You understand the principle. So this is what I would do going through all these guys. I'm going to work on this big one. I have a couple drawings to show you, and you know, we have 20 minutes left. I don't want to run too long. Let me look at the comments as well. Oh yes, Amy took my Painterly Pets class, so yeah, thank you so much for a nice comment. Amy, yeah, she enjoyed the class. And all right, let's work on this guy. I'm going to make this guy, because he's bigger, I will make him a little more detailed, and I'll tell you in a second where I'm leading this. So I just thought his face was so cute that I guess it's a yawn that he's doing. So let's put a little more detail on this one. And again, the mouth might be a little difficult to paint, but squinting and just painting light and dark shapes makes it all easier. You will actually just follow the form. Don't invent anything. Don't try to understand how it all works, where's his tongue, where's what, his teeth, you know, just paint the form. Okay. Let's switch to thicker marker. Let me do the ears a little bit. They're a little too close. My sight measuring tool tells me that this ear needs to start here, so we can move it. There's a darker shape here, and also this needs to be a little bit differently shaped. And I'm going to switch to a larger marker to do his body. Very dark here on the bottom, right? That's why I'm using a larger pen. But if your paper is small, you don't have to do that. You'll probably be fine with just a fine liner and adding a few more scribbles, you know, in one spot. I feel like even his eyes need to be darker because they're tightly shut, and the nose is completely black. Okay, he's got like a line here, so let's do this. Right, and let's do the white. So white on the face. And we can do a little bit of like negative painting here, right? You see those darker marks? They come into his white face. Because I'm painting white on top of dark, I can do the white stripes and leave some areas as watercolor. So don't feel like you need to cover everything solid, right? Just look at the reference photo and follow the reference. And if you have a pet, another good exercise would be to catch them sleeping or something like that when they're just relaxing, and try to paint from life, right? Something like this. That will be a lot of fun too. That will force you to work very quickly and freely without overworking. So that's another good way to loosen up and just have fun and improve your brush handling, pencil handling, just your, your coordination for painting. I have to add a little paint to my Posca from time to time. All right, I think this is all done. Maybe work on the chest a little more. There's highlight here. And just go over the whole thing and add some texture, some visual interest. All right. And with this guy, let me guys tell you what I like to do. When I work on line and wash paintings, I get to stage like this. I usually start with watercolor and then add the line work. That allows me to work freely, like I said, work with shapes first instead of concentrating on details with a line tool, because it's hard to paint large shape with a small line tool, right? So the brush gives you that freedom to start. And then when it's done, if there are things like this, what we can do, let's say, where's my pencil? Let's say this is your paper, just, to give you an example. So what I would do is grab my colors, and I think it looks really neat when you just take your subject and connect it to your paper. Like I did too much here, so I can kind of create a background behind him, and that way it won't matter that I painted a little bit too much of the background. Let's give him something. You can do like a shadow that he's, let's say, sitting on, so you can connect him to something and like make improvements and give your sketch a little more finished look. Is that clear? Do you understand what I'm trying to say here? So that initial wash can be modified after you do the line work and after you add a little more precision to your painting or to your artwork. All right, let me check the questions. I'll show you a couple more paintings, guys. Okay, Beth. Yeah, still lives. Okay, I have some still lives planned for upcoming. My goal, guys, is to do those live events every Saturday because I think it's just fun. Start Saturday morning, painting all together, talking about stuff. I think I don't even have to teach you anything. Maybe we can just paint together, we'll have a reference photo and everybody can paint it, and then you can post it on social media, or if you're in my classes, you can post it on the members forum and I can see it, so I think it will be a fun thing to do. Next Saturday, we will talk about Impressionists and about painting animals in Impressionist style. You might have seen this announcement on YouTube. I already posted it. So we'll be painting this cute horsey. He is going to be very colorful, like Impressionists. They didn't use black, so we're not going to use any black or gray. we will just use colors, and we'll be painting with gouache. When I did that Van Gogh event for Watercolor Beginners and Beyond group on Facebook, I think it was a lot of people had fun with gouache and kind of fell in love with that medium, so I thought we could go back to it and paint, kind of try to recreate the sunny and kind of cheerful style of French Impressionists, but paint our own subject. So the photo will be posted on community on my YouTube channel on community tab. I will also try to share it on social media a few times, also in Facebook group. So hopefully you can join me. Any brand of gouache, any type, acrylic, artist gouache, designer gouache, anything will work. So, and colors really don't matter either. Just bring some primaries, maybe you have some purple, some oranges, have it all ready. Just a thick piece of paper, doesn't have to be watercolor paper for gouache, and we'll just have some fun next Saturday morning. So hopefully you can join me for this one. And speaking of this style of working with wash and line, it's not line and wash, right? We do wash first and then we do the line. Here are a couple of examples of my artwork. So this was created with inks, but you see all I did was I painted some shapes. I was squinting when looking at the reference photo. I was trying to see those warmer and cooler areas. I painted them with inks. Then I took a fountain pen and I drew found the dog in those shapes. So I added a little bit of precision to the dog, and I think it's pretty nice line and wash drawing. So this exercise leads to this style of artwork. So if you like this, definitely recommend starting with these exercises. And another example I have is a cat, of course. So here I just totally went very free-flowing, very unrestricted, and created a nice, interesting wash with some splattering. I had this is ink as well. I had them running down the page. I was having a lot of fun. And then I found the cat, right, with some line work and with some white accents. This is white ink, this one. I put it on a brush and I kind of made it look more like a cat, and instead of doing a restricted, very accurate drawing and then trying to color it in, which is fine if you need precision and you're working on a botanical illustration or something like that. But if you're just trying to do expressive artwork, right, I think this is a better way to go. You will feel more relaxed and more, you will just get your creative juices going. And one more example. These elephants, the same free-flowing wash. These are Sharpies, just a bunch of scribbles and some highlights with a white Sharpie. So it would be hard to do if I started with a drawing instead of painting. All right, and like I said, the subject doesn't have to be cats, doesn't have to be anything specific. So in the future, you can move on to other subjects, like, you can start painting people. This is all the same principle. I did not think about anatomy. I did not measure anything. I did not do a pencil sketch for this. I just kind of splattered some watercolor, and then I found some precision with a fountain pen in this scene. I painted this from a photo, but could have painted from life as well, because this method is fairly fast. You can work pretty quickly. Alrighty, let me check the questions one more time. Okay, I see some suggestions for future videos. Thank you so much, guys. It's very important for me to know what you're interested in. And after the session ends, feel free to comment. I read all the comments and I'll respond to you, and I will definitely take it into account. Right, some people are joining late, that's fine. Oh, Usha, I accidentally posted the horse reference today and I took it off, not to confuse people. Thank you so much for pointing this out to me. The horse is for next week, so next Saturday we'll be working on this painting. I painted it small just for you know, to test the colors. I will probably be working like 8 by 10, maybe 9 by 12, something like that. Not a huge piece of paper for gouache, but I will paint this a little bit larger, and you can all see the whole process and how I make decisions, how I pick colors. And hopefully we will channel our inner Renoir and Monet when working on this next Saturday. Okay, some requests for architecture. Yeah, I'm an architect, so I can talk about architecture all day long. So thank you for that suggestion, Barb. Alrighty, I don't see any more questions, guys. Just a bunch of suggestions for future videos. Thank you so much, and thank you so much for joining me in Tammy Rub Studios this Saturday morning. I hope you had time. I hope you had fun. I hope you had a good time. I hope you will give this technique a try if you weren't painting with me today. And I hope to see you here next Saturday in the morning, and hopefully all the Saturdays throughout the fall and winter. Thank you so much. I'll see you next time.